Welcome into another season prediction video, and today we're talking about the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Another interesting year for Nebraska, and I think a year that is huge for Scott Frost as he really has to elevate this program finally. They've really struggled in recent years, and last year it kind of all culminated with all those close losses that they had. They just couldn't get over the hump in any of them, even though their defense was outstanding. But now they're reinventing themselves on the offensive side. They bring in Pitt offense coordinator Mark Whipple, who really helped develop Kenny Pickett last year into a first-round pick in the NFL. They bring in Casey Thompson, the Texas transfer, at quarterback. He's replacing Adrian Martinez, who has been at Nebraska forever. He's at Kansas State now. And Casey Thompson is a guy that I think many people are kind of sleeping on a little bit. He looked very good in his time at Texas until he got hurt. Then everything kind of snowballed. And so now it's just a matter of, can he and Mark Whipple get this offense on track, and especially the passing offense? Are they going to be able to be explosive there to make up for the fact that they don't run the ball extremely well? They were 81st in the country in rushing offense, and they allowed 29 sacks a year ago. So they got to keep Casey Thompson healthy and in a clean pocket. That's when he's most successful. If they can do that, I feel really good about this team being much more explosive on the offensive side. At running back, Ramir Johnson will lead the way, but it's going to be a committee. I don't see anyone really just solidifying themselves as, a top running back in the Big Ten. I think it's going to be a bunch of different guys coming in, getting snaps, getting carries, and just trying to be productive. And that position will probably sort itself out as the season goes on. At receiver, they really just went for this wholesale change. So they have Omar Manning and Alante Brown, who I think are pretty good, but they brought in Trey Palmer from LSU, Marcus Washington from Texas. I think that's a key one, that Marcus Washington one, because he already has a relationship with Casey Thompson since they played together last year. So I feel like he could be a pretty good piece to this offense. And overall, I like their receivers. I like what they have. I like what they've developed. And I think Mark Whipple showed last year that he can definitely coach a high-powered passing attack. And I think Casey Thompson can lead a passing attack like that because he did a pretty good job of it during his time in Austin. Moving on to the defensive side, and this is an area where I think they're going to be really good once again. But there's two areas that I want to point out that in my eyes are pretty much the reason that they were unable to win games that were extremely close last year. They only forced 13 turnovers, which was 102nd in the nation. They failed to get after the quarterback well, as they only had 20 sacks, which was 98th in the country. If you don't do those two things well, it is hard to win football games, especially when your offense and your special teams were as mediocre or poor as they were a year ago for Nebraska. If they can get those levels up, I think this Nebraska defense could be a top 20 defense this upcoming season. They brought in TCU transfer O'Shawn Mathis, so he should help getting after the quarterback. He was a highly sought-after transfer. I know Texas wanted him, but Nebraska was able to get him, and now I think he's going to provide some stability as a pass rusher. They have some other guys at linebacker that I really like, Nick Heinrich, Garrett Nelson, Luke Reamer. They have some good guys there. I think that's going to be a very solid group, and if they can get the front seven solidified, I think that'll mean really good things, and it'll protect the secondary that has some question marks, to say the least. Quentin Newsome is back at cornerback. I really like the addition of Tommy Hill, who's an Arizona State transfer. He'll probably play the other cornerback spot. And then you got Miles Farmer at safety. But outside of that, the depth is going to be tested. The young talent is going to be tested. And overall, I think they will be pushed in the secondary. The good news is their schedule in the Big Ten, you're not going to face offenses that are going to air it out on you very much. And because of that, I think they're going to be really stout in the box. And if they can do that, if they can slow down rushing attacks, they're going to have a great shot to win just about every game on their schedule. So let's take a look at that schedule now that we're talking on it. Here are the games that I think I'm kind of marking as no doubt I really think they should win this game. Northwestern, North Dakota, Georgia Southern, Indiana, at Rutgers. That's 5 wins. I feel really good about those games. I think they should be able to get it done. It'll be tricky. At Rutgers will be a little tricky. Northwestern playing in Ireland could be a little bit frustrating, but overall, I think they're going to find a way to get these ones done. The losses. I don't think they're beating Oklahoma. I know that game was close last year, but I think Oklahoma's strengths kind of fit into Nebraska's weaknesses, and so I think the Sooners are going to win that one. At Michigan, don't see them winning that one. At Iowa, again, I think that defense is going to be too tough. So that's 3 losses that I see on the schedule. So that's 5-3. That's where we're sitting right now as I kind of look through the schedule. So let's look at these 4. These are the biggest 4 games on their schedule in my eyes. At Purdue, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. In order to hit the over-under, they got to win 3 of them. I don't think they're going to win 3 of them. I think they're going to win 2 of them. I think they'll split in this group. I think the at Purdue game is probably going to be a loss. And then I think the game against Wisconsin will be one that they drop. That gets them to 7-5. And honestly, that's what they need. Scott Frost needs to make a bowl. He needs to show that this program is trending in the right direction. And with an over-under of 7.5, they're right around the number. I just don't see them getting to 8-4 just based on the schedule. They have some really tough games. Could there be some flips? Sure. If they beat Oklahoma at the beginning of the year, then they're pretty much a lock in my eyes to go 8-4. I just don't think they're going to get that one done. But again, I think 7-5 signifies a program trending in the right direction and a head coach that has figured at least some things out. And this is a tough conference as well. You know, playing in the Big Ten, there's a lot of teams that are very equal, a lot of teams that do the same thing you do. And the question is, can you spread them out a little bit more, and can you be different and diverse? And I think that's what Nebraska is going to be this year. Since they're going to be more explosive throwing the football, I think that'll allow them to win more games in this conference and not having to rely on turning the ball, handing it off, punting from your own, from the other team's 35-yard line. They're actually going to be able to take chances as an offense this year. So that's it for Nebraska. We'll have more season predictions as we get closer to the season. But yeah, things are looking up for Scott Frost and this program. So thanks for tuning in this week. This has been Grayson Breaks.